They just showed me a replay how I reacted after the win, and I didn't remember doing any of that. You know, I kind of like blacked out. It was this is a very important moment for me, man. I worked so hard to get here and to get back to this position and to do what I did. I think it really solidifies everything that I am the next guy who deserves the next title shot.
Well, have you had any conversations with anybody high up in the UFC that you are indeed next in line for that winner of Jan and Aldo?
Not any confirmation since I think yesterday Dana did some scrums and Dana White was saying this title fight is pretty much a title eliminator. That's what it was. So I think going out there and doing what I did solidifies it. So I should be the next guy up. And if they don't make the fight with Jan and Jose Aldo, sign me up.
Is there? You didn't take a lot of damage in this fight. Would there be any scenario that you would stay ready just in case one of those guys can't make it to that fight?
Oh, of course, definitely. We got Marab fighting next weekend against Ray Borg. We got Matt Favola fighting against Camacho the following week. So I'm gonna be here working out with these guys and helping these guys stay in shape and getting them ready, giving them some looks. You know, I'm not banged up, which is great, so I could be a good asset for them this next few fight weeks. And stay ready, man. You know, I'm trying to realize a dream, and I'm right there. I can see it. I can feel it. I can touch it, and that's it. I'm on cloud nine, man. All the craziness going on in the world, but you know, this is my moment, and I definitely want to still make sure I pay some type of tribute to what's going on around America today.
I was about to ask you about that. Before the fight, you said you had trouble sleeping leading up to this fight and so on and so forth. Will you join the protesters out there now that you're done with your fight?
Yeah, when I get back home, if there's still going on, definitely 100%. My sisters were taking part of everything back home. I'm a family of 20 siblings, you know, so they're back home fighting a good fight and just, you know, trying to spread love and just, you know, we're trying to preach anti-racism, anti-hate. You know, everyone should be loved and treated the same. You know, people always say, you know, we say Black Lives Matter and then people say all lives matter. Yeah, they do matter. No one ever said they don't. I think the issue that people have trouble comprehending is if you're in a neighborhood and one house is burning, do all the houses matter at the time? No, they don't. Just the one house that's burning, that's on fire. You gotta put out the fire and make sure it doesn't burn down to the ground. And the black community, the black and brown community is that fire that needs to be taken care of. So I think people need to understand and step back and realize it's not always about you, it's about the whole picture, making sure everybody is getting their fair due, fair shake, and everyone's well accounted for and treated fairly, man. I think it's about respect. Treat people the way you want to be treated, the way you want your mom to be treated, the way you want your dad to be treated, your brother, your sister. You treat people like shit, expect people to react the same way, you know? So I just think there's a better way to do things. We need a lot of reforms in the police academies. We got all these great MMA fighters that could go around, teach people, and we need some more cultural diversity, some more cultural education among our police force. At the end of the day, these guys are paid to protect and serve, not to cause fear and hurt people, you know? So I'm not saying all cops are bad. I got cop friends. There's a lot of good cops out there. I got cop friends that I hang out with on a daily basis, you know? So at the end of the day, that's my message. I just hope that we can all figure it out. We can really sit down and have a good conversation and try to figure out how we can make this world a better place for everybody. You know, that's what I'm about, man. I like preaching love and doing the right thing. That's just how I was raised. I never looked at myself better than anybody else. I never looked at my skin or the next person's skin and thought that they were more superior or I was inferior to them, you know? So I think it starts with us, how we raise our kids in our future, and really preaching that word and making sure our kids are being raised the right way, because they are the future of that revolving door. We gotta break that cycle and change something in this country if we want true change, not just something behind the doors or in front of the cameras, and then outside of that, you still have your ways that are not so great of thinking about other people. You know, we're all equal. I put my pants on the same way you do.
And one final one. Alex Caceres has asked this question too. Leading up to his fight, Jay Super kind of got a lot of the promotional push, and Alex Caceres not so much. So, the same question he got. Do you think the UFC does a good job promoting minority fighters?
Honestly, I never looked at it like that. That's just how I am. I don't really look at black or white, minority, Spanish. I think we're all just people. I never actually thought about that sense of that light in terms of whether the UFC pushes minorities more or not. I think they push you if they think you have that it factor. You know, some people got a lot of tattoos, some people got crazy hair, some people smoke weed in public and do, it just depends on the personality. If they think you got something that people are gonna gravitate to, they're gonna push you, So I don't think the UFC is not pushing us, so to speak.
So Aldo.
How do you see that Peter Yan Jose Aldo fight going?
Honestly, it's a tough fight. Jose Aldo's a great dude. He's a tough competitor and former champion. He had a really close fight with Marlon Moraes. I thought that fight could have gone to him. I thought it did. And Peter Yan's a tough dude himself. I just don't think he's good, but I'm not sold on him yet. I still think there's some question marks to be answered. And I don't know, maybe this one is going to answer those questions, or if not, I love to be the guy that gets put into that position to take out the boogeyman that everyone thinks. And I'm like, dude, he's a fucking person. He bleeds just like everybody else. I don't give a shit, It's different when you got a good wrestler in front of you who's confident in his abilities. I can strike, I can wrestle, I can do jiu-jitsu, there's black belts, and then there's black belts, and I'm a Sarah BJJ black belt.
Out of the two of them, which one would you rather fight? I mean, it seems like you want to prove that Peter Yan's not this amazing force, but Jose Aldo's a legend, right? Is there a preference to which one you'd rather face?
I never wish ill will on anybody in their career. Whoever wins, may the best man win, and that's it. I want to fight the guy who comes out victorious that night, and that's it. I'm not looking to say, I want this guy to lose, or I want this guy to win. In a perfect world, there's no perfect world in this scenario. They're too good, they're two high-level, world-class guys. Either way, I got my work cut out for me, and I expect to be in a barn burner of a fight. And that's really it. Just go out there and try to shine one more time.
Ideally by the end of this year?
That would be great. My birthday's coming up. I like to enjoy number 31 in a good way with my friends and family. If not, if that fight's not going to happen, I'd love to be the guy who kind of steps up and make the fight happen. In case something doesn't go right with the Aldo and Yan fight. Weird things happen. This is a crazy division right now. This division's on fire. Everyone's paying attention. People can punch, people can knock people out, people can choke people the fuck out. It's a fun time to be a bantamweight.
You didn't really give us much down here in the left. You didn't really give us much to break down technically, but initially, when you had the submission and he got out of it, right? You had to be patient so as not to burn out your arms. But at what point did you know that you had won the fight? What did you feel that you knew you could sink it in and finish it?
Once I propped up on my right elbow, and I was going over this with our coach, Jason Rao, one of our coaches at Sarah BJJ. He's a phenomenal grappler, world-class man, and I knew I had him dead to rights, and it was a matter of whether or not he was going to tap or just go to sleep. He had the warrior spirit. He fought all the way through, and he went to sleep on his shield, and much respect to that, man. Most people would have tapped, but I'm gonna break it down on my podcast, The Weekly Scratch, so check out my YouTube channel. That's a plug.
Yeah, he's a super tough guy, man. Were you surprised? I mean, it doesn't matter how good you are. If somebody comes out the way you did and you're all over him, like, you really can't get out of that rut, and you just gave no opportunity to do that. Was that your game plan, was just to go right out, or was just something you felt in the moment?
Yeah, I had restless nights thinking multiple ways how this fight could have played out, and one of them was, trading with him, going to war. Both of us ended up in the hospital. And then the other one was like, why not just fucking wrestle this guy? This guy clearly gives up his back, he gives up takedowns, and I know he's a good grappler. He's got a good Kimura lock defense that he does whenever he isn't a threat of a takedown. But I knew my grappling was on another level. I was like, the art of Sun Tzu, man, take the path of least resistance, and I did that tonight. And I tell people, man, it's not fluff. I don't like to hype myself up. I just believe in my training, believe in what my team is telling me. And I think everyone's gonna realize in this division, if I get a hold of your legs and I take you down, you're in for a long motherfucking night.
Congratulations on the victory, Aljamain. Curious to know, a couple days ago when you entered the octagon and you felt around and it was a smaller octagon than what you're used to, did that change the strategy for this fight at all whatsoever, quicker to get to him in the round?
No, I think it makes it worse for my opponents, honestly. I think you got some of these guys, they're heavy hitters, that's always a threat, but I think I got pretty solid awareness, pretty good head movement. The main thing that I was concerned about with Sandhagen was stepping into a knee, shooting into a knee if I didn't set it up the right way, and that was the main thing I focused on. I was like, dude, as long as you're aware, you use your level changes, you use your feints, his coach said, he's just looking to wrestle, and I made sure I told him, yep, I am. And I hope you're ready to wrestle too, because that's what we're going to do. You know, so I think wrestling really dictates the pace of the fight. And, you know, I wasn't the greatest wrestler coming out of high school and college, but, you know, I two-time All-American D3. And, you know, I think I got a very unorthodox style, and it's been beneficial thus far, man. So far, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm glad I got my wrist fixed. Now I can get back to my takedown ways, and before I was kind of forced to stand because I couldn't really maintain the grip with the takedowns, but I'm back, baby. The backpack is back.
I was going to get to that. A couple of months ago when we spoke at the PI, you were still recovering from that wrist surgery. Was it 100% for this fight, recovery?
Nah, I mean, strength-wise, yes. I'm probably not all the way 100%, but I can grip, I can squeeze, I can lock people down. It makes it harder for them to 2-on-1 and break my grip. I pride myself on doing farmer carries with 100-pound dumbbells, 110-pound dumbbells, and then I had to drop down to about 60. So can you imagine the deficit in that and how much that really affected my training and what I'm used to doing out there? So to be able to get back up to that and start to build that, my wrist range of motion, this is the most range of motion I have in my wrist right now. So definitely limited. I'm going to stay on it, and hopefully for the next one I'll have everything back to as close to 100% as possible. At the end of the day, man, it's a fight. No one's 100%, and it's a battle about the mental. It's the mental, man. Everything is up here.
You won the bet. Keep our word.
Oh, we gotta shave that thing. We gotta shave that thing.
Aldo, Jim Greashopper, cage side. See, just one for me. It's interesting in sports when we see a champion enter that zone. Feels like you're entering that zone right now where everything's coming together physically, mentally, confidence, humility, even your social awareness. There's something about you right now. There's an air about you that it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. How would you describe that zone that you're entering, and how would you describe the growth that you've experienced as you've entered that zone over the last year or so?
It's surreal, man, just watching my journey to get here. You know, I've had some, not embarrassing, but to me, embarrassing losses where it was just like, you know, I know I'm better than that, and my skill set, my abilities, and just kind of coming up short. But, you know, I took the long road, we came back, we worked our asses off, we got back to this position, and just having confidence in myself and never losing faith. I think that's what it's all about, man. It's so easy to beat yourself up. You know, you lose one fight, and you can hit rock bottom. And I've lost probably one of the worst ways possible, you know? 1 minute, Mulberize, I get dropped, I almost get a nasty triangle armbar off of my back in a scuffle, and I get up, I'm over anxious, and I have no respect for anything, and I just shoot in, not setting anything up, and, you know, I go out cold. And doing the dab. You know, everyone making fun of that or whatever, so. One of the most embarrassing ways to lose, but you know what? You know, I put my head down, kept working. I'm a blue collar guy, man. I'm a hard worker. I work for everything I have, and I pride myself on that, just my work ethic, and no one will outwork me. That's one thing I truly do believe in. If you're on that treadmill next to me, just know you're getting off before I get off the treadmill.
Aljamain Sterling. In the middle. Your division is on fire right now. It's incredibly competitive. But how much do you wish that you still could have gotten that Henry Cejudo fight?
Honestly, I don't care. Henry's a great dude, really good competitor. You know, he's a two-division champion, and the way he did it, taking out some really big names. You know, I do wish he fought some actual new blood, some top-level contenders, you know, for his legacy. But it is what it is. It would be nice eventually if, you know, I win the belt, perfect world, he comes back, comes out of retirement, and we have a big payday fight. So that's the way I'm kind of looking at things. This bantamweight division's on fire, you know, it's going to go on without him, and I'm pretty sure he's going to get that itch and want to come back. There's a lot of good guys out here right now, you know, and it's an exciting time to be a bantamweight. You got the O'Malley's coming up, Garbrandt just came back with a big win. Stamen went up to 45, took out Kelleher from Long Island. You know, I train with one of my training partners, you know, kind of do a lot of cross training. And that's a guy who's riding a 3-fight win streak. So you got Marab, Dishvili, my teammate. This is an exciting time. Rob Font, all these guys, everyone's so good. Marlon Moraes, Pidion, I can go on and on. Dominic Cruz is ranked 12. That says something, you know. So this division's on fire, and I'm just happy to be one of the guys who's leading that pack right now. Thank you guys. Stay safe and drink tequila.